Hey guys, in this video we're going to be building this website entirely with HTML and CSS. So if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We do a lot of tutorials like this. I'm going to link some playlists in the description down below. So if you want me to do a specific kind of tutorial on any web development topic, you can write it in the comment section down below. So without wasting any more of your time, let's get started right away. So we have some starter files which we are going to be using to build this particular website, which I'm going to link in the description down below, which you should get because there are a lot of important stuff that you're going to need, like the images, this illustration, and some other things. So first of all, let's start by making our index.html file. Okay, make sure that that's not in any folder. Uh, style.css. I'm gonna drag that. Okay, make sure that your index.html and style.css are not in any particular folders. Okay, now so we're gonna have this is how it's gonna be our basic HTML document. The name of the website is called Commune Waitlist Starter Files. Okay. Okay. So we're going to put the website, which is the design file, right here so that we know what we're designing our HTML against, because HTML is very, very important. It's gonna greatly affect how you do your CSS essentially. So first of all, we have a nav bar here, so we have to do that first. So we're gonna say nav, and we're gonna have the logo. So we're gonna say I generally like to put this inside an e tag. I don't know why, maybe it's just because of convention. Image dot forward slash what is it? It's inside assets. And we have the which logo is it? Okay, it's logo.svg. So to make sure that what we're doing is we're not making any errors, let's just go to the browser. Okay, you see, I'm sure you were probably thinking that we were gonna write commune because that was what I was thinking, but it's actually the logo and the text is normally one, because you don't want to be stressing yourself trying to align the text to the image. Nah. Okay. So the navbar is quite simple because as you can see, there's just text here and there's just a logo here and there's text here, which can be easily done with Flexbox. But if there was something in the middle and something here, it'll be more complicated. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna just have a UL, then inside here we're gonna have the features, copy. I'm gonna have affiliate. Okay, my spelling of affiliate is very, very wrong. Affiliate, copy. Pricing and community. Sorry. Then here we're gonna have a button. I'll come to that affiliate in a moment. Join wait list. So this looks wrong. Okay, I think affiliates is one L. Affiliates, okay. Okay, if we come to this in the browser, this is what we have so far. Okay, now, so we're gonna have the hero section. This is called the hero section. Hero. So what do we want to do now? We can see that we have the text is bigger than the image. The text comes first, image comes second. Normally, it doesn't matter the order. You can use Flexbox to align it, but I'm just gonna put the text first because it's first. And I said it does not matter the order. So I'm gonna have the text div, or rather the text container. This is the text. We're gonna have a H1. I'm gonna say build a highly engaged, a highly engaged. We're gonna put a break tag here. You could kind of do it without the break tag and make two H1s, but I don't want to do that because that's gonna be stressful. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna have a paragraph. So I could just type the entire thing, but there's a shortcut to do this. I can just say P and you just be like, okay, how many text is here? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So the text here is 17 times 3, which is about 60 something. So what we could just do here is that we can just say something like lorem 60. And that's going to generate dummy text for us, maybe even equivalent to this guy, instead of us typing and wasting some valuable time. So you can this image and this button, although they are inline elements, so they're going to appear like this, but they have to be properly aligned. So I'm just going to say input container because both of them are both inputs. Input container. Okay, so what file we're going to have the inputs. I'm going to say placeholder, enter your email address. Save that. Okay, so let's remove that. Save that. So what what we want to do is I want to have a button. Have you? So I'm gonna ask you guys a question. So have you ever? Do you guys write your button like this? Because it still works. Because if you check this in the browser, it still works. It still works. You can just attach a value property of join with list. It still works. It still works. It's the same thing here, but it looks kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie, looks weird. But I'm just gonna leave it like that because it's unusual, and I want to take you guys out of your comfort zone. So for the last part of the website, which is called the footer, is really easy. We just have a paragraph here used used by these companies. Okay, so and again we're gonna have a logo container. So hope you really have the habit of having things in container because you don't just leave elements flying around. So image dot slash assets, we're gonna have the Vietnam's logo. So I'm just gonna adjust this since we're like done with it. Copy, go back, Bing, copy, paste. Okay, so we have these logos, but there is one that we're gonna need to use, and which is the we're gonna use now we're gonna need to use it later, and I will come back to the HTML. It's not perfect at first. Nothing is actually ever perfect at first. So link style.css, we have made our style.css right here. So we have our style.css, and we can drag this a little bit closer. CSS doesn't occupy a lot of space like that, and we can divide our screen. Okay, sorry, this should be, yeah, and put it, aha, so it should be like this, so we can see what we are building and what we are built against. So the first things first is that, oh yeah, I forgot the image. Yeah, I forgot the image. Sorry guys, I forgot the image. Okay, we call this part hero. I forgot the image, so I'm gonna put the image. Very important. Forgot the image, so I'm gonna put it here. Image dash container. Okay, we're gonna say image dot forward slash design, sorry, assets, then this is going to be the illustration of PNG file. Sorry, guys, I forgot the image. Now we have this weird looking image. So the first thing that we want to do is that we want to start designing the nav bar. So we're going to say nav display flex. Okay, so we're going to check that out. Nice. So the first thing, we're going to give display flex, and we're also going to give the UL a display of flex, which is going to make the UL like this, as we can see right now. But we need to, let's put it side by side. We need to take away the list style type of, so say list style type, we're going to give this none. Okay. Li, we're going to give the Li a margin of 10 pixels. Okay, then we're going to give this an align item center. You can see which centers it vertically. And we're going to give this a justify content of space around. Okay, which gives it space here and space here. See how the navbar was quite easy to style. So Li with a button. I'm going to give the button a padding of 10 pixels, 15 pixels. Okay, nice looking button. You want to take away the border. So most of the time you are going to take away the border of a button. Is not useful. Outline none. Okay. Font family inherit. We're going to give it a font later on. And background. So a background color was not given to us at the moment. So we're just gonna use our own color. So a background color was not given to us, and obviously the blue is not like that. We're gonna adjust it a little bit. Mhm. Anyhow, we're gonna give it a color of white and a border radius of, let's just say, 10 pixels. So we're gonna take this image and we're gonna put it inside of here so that it has its own tab. So our button is not quite looking like the button here, but that's because of the font difference. So by the time we apply a good font, we're gonna see everything come to life. But for now, the font here is not very good, so I'm just gonna say font family system UI. Save. Okay, for now that looks a whole of a lot better. A hell of a lot better. So let's do this part. So the hero display, we're gonna give the hero a display of flex. That looks like a disaster at first, but that's because the image, we want to give the image a width of 100%. That's why we put the image inside a container. Okay, I want to give the image a width of 100%. So we want to make sure that the text that we put here is not too much, and I do think it's a bit too much. So let's trim it a little bit. Save. Okay, that looks better. So what we're gonna do now is, so we have the text container there. So the text container is obviously longer than the image, right? And we want to give this like a max width of, like, I don't know, maybe 1200 pixels. Okay. So this text container div is obviously longer, so we want to give it a width of like 60%. So text container, we give it a width or 60%. Why the image, or as what did we call it? The image container. So why the image container, you want to give it a width of the remaining available space, which is 40%. So look at this on desktop. This looks doesn't quite look good. So there have to be something wrong somewhere. Let's give it align items of center, justify content center, uh, margin 0 or 2. Okay, maybe we can take away the align item part of it for now. First of all, the image is too big, so we cannot give it a max width of 1,200. Let's try 900. Yeah, I think 900 is quite better. Obviously, this text is going to be bigger, and we have to keep these logos in check as well. So let's do the footer section. So logo container. First of all, we want to say dot logo container image. No image inside the logo container should have a width of 50 pixels and the height of 50 pixels. Okay, nice. And what we want to do is I want to make sure that they have the display of flex regardless as they are spaced from each other. So justify content, we're going to give it space around. But here we want to make sure footers normally have a width of 100%. Or rather, we don't have to alter the footer. The logo container, you can give this a width of 25%. Okay. Our text needs to be way bigger, I think. Our text needs to be way bigger. So let's adjust the text. So the H1, the text container H1, what do we want to do here? So what we want to do is I want to give it a font size of 40 pixels. And we want to put the correct font so that we get the design right. And if we come to the README, that's why you need to download these starter files because they are very, very useful. It says this is the font used instead of this horrible font that we are using. So it's going to mess up our sense of design. So let's apply the font. So we're going to use the import. We're going to need this, so we're going to copy this. And we're going to need this, so we're going to copy this as well. So first of all, we want to give every element, I'll put that there. We want to give every single element, this is what the star stands for, this font. Then we want to paste the one up that we copied before. Okay, so we're going to go here. We could just copy it separately though, but for me, I think this is way faster. So paste, and if we come here, we should have that font. You can see that's a better font. So we want to make sure that everything is kind of centrally aligned in a way, as we can see here. We want to make sure that everything has that central alignment. What I'm going to do. This is how I want to fix the problem. It's a very easy thing to fix actually. So we have three elements that are just very perfectly aligned, and I know what you're gonna say, but we're gonna add this one later on. That's not a problem. We have three elements that are just perfectly aligned. Okay. So the way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna give this guy all of them the same max width, except for the navbar. This guy the same max width, this guy the same max width. Then we're gonna center it with margin 0 auto. So let's see how that looks essentially in the code. So if we come here, first of all, we're going to give the navbar a max width of 1200 pixels and a margin 0 auto. But you're going to tell me that we gave this guy, where is it? 900 pixels. Why is it working? Well, the navbar is quite different because it's being centered here. So its navbar is quite different because it has flexbox on it. Okay, now so we have to do this footer element. So we're going to say, I'm going to copy these two. I'm going to come to the footer. See, then you can see that everything is cramped here. So this is because of here, we can just give it 45%. That gives it more width. Nice. So we have to do this input, which has to look like something like that. And the join waitlist button too. So dot sorry dot input dash container. Sorry about that, guys. So the input dash container, what we have to do, the input container owns two inputs. So we're going to say input type equal to text. Remember that inside the input container, there is the text and there is the button. Okay, so we have to be specific. So what we want to do is I want to give it a padding of 10 pixels or 15 pixels. I want to say border none, outline none, and the page it has one kind of faint blue color. I want to see if that's in the readme. Okay, that is not in the readme. So you can see that these guys, they are not as good as front-end mentor. They expect you to get that color yourself. So body, background, blue. Obviously, it's not going to be this color. I'm just going to take it. Something like this. Yeah, but it's a little bit more lighter actually. So let's go up in the blue spectrum. Okay, maybe we can go a little bit more lighter. I think we're getting close to the color. Oh yeah, so this is the exact perfect color. So you can see this guy is being shown up more. So on the input container, we want to give it a width of, I don't know, 500 pixels. Or rather, we can just give it a width of 100%. And we want the input to take up about 60% of the width available to it. Or maybe it can take 50% of the width available to it. And let's increase the padding, make this 1520. Okay, that looks good. Then now we have to do the button, so we can say something like input container where input sorry where type is equal to button. So we're going to type the input right here. We're going to say where type is equal to button. So what we're going to simply do here, we're going to say padding, we're going to give it the same padding, which is 1520. Border none. Okay. Outline none. Okay, which looks nice. What we have to do, we want to say background. We want to give it this same color, but the color has to be way darker. Copy. Okay, let's dial it up a little bit. It's not still the perfect color. Okay, we can take it down maybe a little bit more purpley. I feel like this color is more close to the color that we gave that button is more close to the color. So where's that button? It's more closer. Okay, nice. All I want to do is I want to give this a color of white. Save, and let's copy this and paste. And the button right here on the navbar, there's just one thing wrong. We want to increase the padding. So sorry, this is what it is. So instead of 1015, it should be 1520. That's better. And one more thing, sir, for the button, we want to give it a cursor of pointer to let the user know that this is something that can be clicked. Okay, okay. So you could say there's really no difference between what is here and what's here. We've tried. So the final step is to make it responsive. So how does this do when we go to a mobile device? Well, you see it doesn't do very nicely. Then it gets to a point where it starts breaking. So I think it's around here, about 800 pixels. So what we have to do now, I want to come to the style guide. We have multiple views. We have the tablet view. Tablet view is just like the desktop view. There's really no difference. So we want to come to the mobile view. You can see that the image is gone. So first of all, that's what we want to do. So because the mobile view and the tablet view is the same, we're going to increase the breakpoint. So what we're doing essentially is that we're giving it a width that says that when it gets to a certain width, change the layer. I want to remove the image and I want to remove stuff. So 900 pixels. Dot image container should have a display of none. Save, and everything's gone. So what we have to give this guy a text align of center. Text container, text align center. Okay, so that's gonna center it. So instead of making it take 60%, now that we have that space, let's make it take 100%, or maybe to make, since we don't want it flushed up at the ends, 80%. Okay, nice. And we want to center this footer as well. So we want to come to the footer. It's not a class. So footer, we want to come here to the footer. Just come here. Maybe we'll just give this a footer a width of 80%. And again, the logo container, we can increase the width of the logo container and just give it 50%. Save. Let's look at our mobile view again. The difference, I think there's a difference between the mobile and the tablet view. Tablet view is like the mobile view. This guy shrinks. This guy becomes This, you see why we needed to do this. Now we can control the layout of these guys. Okay, so if we still keep on going, let's test this on some mobile devices. You can see first of all there's going to be a break in layout because of the navbar. We're supposed to have a navbar there. As you can see, there's a navbar. We're supposed to have that. So let's do that quickly because navbar can take quite some time to do. So let's do that quickly. Do we have the navbar on the tablet view? Okay, we have it as well. So what we want to do is that to design that navbar, the UL, we want to give the UL a position of absolute. So this is going to take the UL out of the normal document flow. So you can see the UL is not normally the way it was again. We want to give this a flex direction of colon. This will kind of like neutralize the effect of flex box. I'm going to give it a background of white, a padding of 10 pixels, and a top 20 pixels, and a width of 80 or 70%. So save this. This is what we get. So this is quite nice for a navbar. So the only thing missing now is that we need that mobile navigation. This is why we said we're going to come back to the HTML if you can remember. So we're going to say image.menu. Design. Is inside the design folder? I think it's inside the assets. See, it says hamburger menu. Okay, so we have the hamburger menu right over there. So want to give the menu some unique classes. Menu width 30, height 30, and display of none. So on default, the menu should not show. Only when we get to these devices, that's when we need the menu to show, because it will serve its purpose. Menu, display, block. We can see our nice little menu right there. Maybe we might want to shift this down a little bit. So top 30 pixels. Oh, sorry. Okay, nice. So we just need to just add a little bit of JavaScript, so when we add this, this will go away and come back. So we just define a none class to toggle that state. So none, display none. So what we want to come here, we want to apply some nice JavaScript script. So because the JavaScript is small, I don't want to have it in a separate file. You could actually do that. So constant UL, want to select the UL document dot query selector UL. I want to select that menu, and we put a dot menu to indicate that this is a class. So we say menu dot add event listener. So this is just a fancy word, but what it's just trying to say is just it's listening for whenever they click it. So just want this to run anytime, just only when they click it. Yeah, it's not fancy word. If you are seeing this for the first time, it's gonna look fancy. So what we just want to do here is that we just want to just say ul dot class list dot toggle none. So what toggle is going to do is that if it has it, it's going to remove it. If it doesn't have it, it's going to put it back, which it looks something like this. So it's toggling that class. Nicely done. So we want to add a special for the mobile device. We want to add a special thing for that guy. You can see that it's wrapping itself, and we don't want it to do that. We want to do that ourselves. So media max width 500 pixels. So we want to say input container display flex and flex direction column. I want to give it a width of 80%. Remember, I previously had 100%. So the inputs, so want to give all inputs a width of 80% of 100% because their container is 80%, so they'll take 100% of the 80%. Okay, this is CSS specificity. So this is more specific. So this is overriding anything we're doing here. So let's do it like that. So input, so that input container input where the type is equal to text. We want to do the same thing for the button as well, where the type is equal to button. So for the button, it's not quite working. Let's give everything box sizing border box, just in case. So that's the CSS property I don't really use all the time, but some weird things can happen that even I cannot even explain. The logo container, I want to give it a width of 60%. Maybe at this point we might just give it a width of 100%. Nice. Wait. We forgot this guy here, which is pretty simple to add. Just come here, H4, just add style text. So we are now allowing early access for users. A, this is going to go to nowhere. Learn. So what we just have to just do, just give it a background, which is quite simple. And just come to that H4 here. Just give it a background color. And we know that we're going to use this color here. The same color for the button. I'm going to give it a color of white and a border radius of 20%. Okay, let's not give it in percentages. So we also want to give this a padding too. So padding 10 pixels. And we want to give this width, maybe make this 90%. So for the A tag, we want to style that as well. So H4A, I want to give it a color of white. One major thing also as well is text align center. Okay, nice. So we could come here, close the navigation. It still looks good as well. This is the smallest screen devices, but these are medium devices and it looks okay on medium devices. So thank you for watching. This one was quite long. It wasn't easy, and if you made it up to the end of the video, you are really amazing. And make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the very next tutorial. And wait. Submit your tutorial request, and I'll catch you in the very next